Good morning, Needham High, and welcome back to NHSN. To start, we'd like to give a shout out to all the members of SAMD who worked so hard to put on the production of Dear Edwina this fall. If you are interested in watching the remote show, please check out your school emails for the links to register.
Performances will be Friday and Saturday, November 20th and 21st at 7 p.m. and Sunday, November 22nd at 2 p.m. Even if you don't plan on watching, please consider making a donation, for all proceeds go to Boston Children's Hospital. We are all very excited, and to the actors, break a leg.
Up first, let's go to Jason for a TV recommendation.
Thanks, guys. Here's an update on film and television for this week.
If you are looking for a show to binge watch right now, The Queen's Gambit on Netflix is the answer. This fictional story takes place in the 1950s to 60s and follows the life of an orphan and chess prodigy, Beth Harmon, during her quest to become the world's greatest chess player. You don't need to know anything about chess or even like the game to love this show, which has been in the top 10 on Netflix since October 25th. The show stars Anya Taylor-Joy, who is getting rave reviews for her portrayal of Beth. It also features familiar favorites like Thomas Brody Sangster from Maze Runner and the guy who played Dudley in Harry Potter, Harry Melling. This might be one of the best shows of quarantine, and I highly recommend it.
That's all for this week in entertainment. Now back to you guys.
Thanks, Jason. I'll make sure to invite you to my Oscar party when I'm middle-aged.
Remote learning sure is better than it was last year, but how does it fit into hybrid and how are students taking it? Danny Volek finds out.
What are your thoughts on going remote?
So generally, I think it's okay. I think it's nice because, the week you're in person, you feel like, every class is a long block and you're ready to go. You're ready to go home at the end of the day. And by the end of the week, it's nice to kind of go home. And then for the next week, you get to just be at home for your classes. And
Danny, I think it's a good balance. 1 week in school, 1 week out of school. Lets you rest, lets you focus.
So I personally really enjoy remote learning, and it's probably the best thing that's happened to me during the high school and my high school experience. Even when we had it back in the spring, it allowed me to work full time and still attend all my classes, and I've actually been doing better in school than I ever have been in school.
Is there a specific thing that you like or don't like about it?
I like how I can make my own schedule. It's very nice. Get assignments at the start of the week, turn them in at the end.
I guess I don't really like the fact that I don't get to see my friends as much, but it's not like I really could have seen them as more than I do now because of cohorts and stuff.
so I like how some of the classes are asynchronous. It's a lot better than always having to zoom in for upwards of, an hour and a half. And it's a lot easier to get some of the work done when you that entire class period to do the work instead of having to be on a Zoom call that may not be as beneficial.
Gorgeous package, Danny. And now let's go to Elizabeth for sports!
Thanks, Ronan. Last week wrapped up the fall season with each varsity team competing against teams in Needham's pod. Field hockey finished their season undefeated at 8-0-2. Girls soccer ended their season strong with 2 big wins, putting them at 3-4-3. Boys soccer finished 5-2-3 with one of the top records in their league. Girls and boys cross country and golf competed well at the BSC event on Veterans Day. Thank you, coaches, players, families, and everyone involved for making a very successful season. Now let's go to Sophia for a closer look at what sports looks like this year. And as for me, that's all for this week, and as always, stay fly, Rockets.
Sports this year are obviously looking a little different than they have in the past, but a little pandemic and a few new and different guidelines never stopped anyone from doing what they love. I talked with Samantha Doria of the Needham Girls Varsity Soccer Team about this year's fall season and a few of the changes that were made to help everyone stay safe.
Game and also just have to deal with precautions as in like wearing masks and like having different like rules. Like we don't have heading anymore, which definitely affects like us scoring goals and us like dominating in the middle of the field. The refs, they are more cautious and they definitely are on like our butts about like wearing masks and like keeping it over our like nose and stuff. Like for like Anita personally, we definitely didn't come out with the record that we wanted. We obviously wanted to win all our games, and that obviously did not happen. But I think, like, even with all the protocols and all the new rules that we have to play with, I think we did really, really good, and we kind of overcame those issues. Like, for COVID, I mean, we all kept safe, and there were some bumps in the road, but I think overall we did pretty good. It's just positive that we got to play, and I'm really happy that I got to play with all the people on my team. So.
Thank you to this year's team captains and good luck next season. Now, back to Ronan.
Thanks, Sophia. Well, that's all we have for you this week. See you next week on Student News.